Ladles and jelly spoons, welcome back to Badgerworks. Today, this. This is the Airfix 1/72nd scale North American Mustang IV. This is one of Airfix's starter kits, as you can see. I picked this up in the range, I think it was. And it's kind of interesting because it has all the same stuff that the ones you get in Aldi, but in the Aldi ones, they just stuff all this in the box. This one I think was about £8, whereas I think the ones in Aldi are about £6. So you're basically paying £2 extra for a piece of cardboard. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So that's what we're going to build today. So let's get on with it. So yeah, they give you the normal stuff. So you've got the paints and things that I'm probably not going to use. I can't get them off for a minute. I'll leave them. Oh, come out. There we go. I'm assuming there are some decals in here somewhere. Actually they're probably wrapped up in there. They are. So they usually put them inside the thing. This is quite an interesting one actually, because this is, as you saw on the box, this one's in RAF colours, and it's actually 112 Squadron, Italy, 1945. And apparently it is an official licensed product from Boeing. Anyway, design and tooling 2012, so it'd be interesting to see what this is like. But we'll have a look. Usually these starter kits aren't too bad, but I bought this the other day when I was in the range getting something else. And because it occurred to me when I looked at it that I don't think I've ever actually built a Mustang. So I thought it might be an interesting thing to try. Now, there are two canopies there. I wonder if that shows you one. I wonder if you can have one open and one closed. We'll see. Anyway, we'll worry about that in a minute. Let's have a quick look at this. It looks all right. Doesn't look too bad, actually. The nice thing about these is there's not many parts. You can build them quite quickly. Yeah. So it looks reasonably good. Oh, there's a little bit of flashing there. That's the, or I'm assuming that's the front of the air intake on the bottom. But that's okay. If that's the worst we have to deal with, then we'll be all right. The one thing I'm a bit dubious of always with these, let me find something to point with. This will do. You have here where the fuselage and everything is connected to the frames, and in fact with most of the parts, the connection is quite hefty, shall we say, which I'm assuming they do to make sure it molds properly. But it does mean it's quite tricky to clean them up sometimes, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so that's all fine. Let's have a quick look at the destructions. Again, this seems fairly sort of standard Airfix starter set fare. Yeah. Does it have a? Oh yeah, it does have a decal for the controls. Actually, quite a lot of steps to this, all things considered. Oh, that's quite interesting. You can have the flaps up or down. We'll have to figure that out when we get to it. Right. I guess we'll make a start. Okay, so the first thing you actually need to do is paint the part of the cockpit black. So I think what I'm going to do is, while I'm doing that, I'm going to paint some of the other bits black as well. So there's the propeller boss and various other bits and pieces. Right, we need this bit here. So this is actually the first step of the instructions. And we'll do these as well. And And we want the propeller. I might actually just glue this propeller together actually, because it's all got to be black, so it'd probably be as easy just to glue it all together and do it. And we might as well do the wheels as well while we're at it. Now there was something else I saw that needed to be black. What part's that? Which is that bit there, as I suspected. This is the radiator that goes in the bottom. So we'll do that as well. And the nose cone. Right, I'll clean all these bits up and then we'll start painting. And we're going to get started with this XF85 rubber black. Like that. So I was about to start putting the cockpit together before I paint it, and I went to cut the joystick off of the sprue and it snapped. So that was fun. But what I do have, fortunately, is this here. Now that is actually the shift stick, column shift stick off of the Freedom Ford that I cut off because I didn't need it. That's why I never throw anything away, you see, because that'll do for this. It's not the perfect thing, but it'll do. There we go. Actually, I might as well just mention it now. While I'm waiting for all that black stuff to dry, I'm going to paint all of the inside of the cockpit and everything with this XF71 cockpit green. Right, and once all those pieces are dry, I'm going to hit them with this high coat clear lacquer. I've been using this a bit now, and it's actually pretty good stuff. But I need to do that because we need to put a decal on the cockpit, and also we need to do some weathering. Okay, so I've basically finished the cockpit. I haven't done a great deal to it. Just a few little details I've added here and there. A bit of panel liner, that kind of thing. And now I'm going to just assemble this before I put it all together, which kind of makes sense, I suppose. Where are my glasses? Oh. Okay. So that needs to go in there like that. Put a little drop of glue on the bottom of there, like that. And we need to put this radiator in as well. Just make sure I'm actually putting that in the right way around. Oh no, that faces towards the back. Does it? What? Yeah, it faces towards the back. That was lucky I checked, because I was about to put that in backwards. Is that right? Yeah. Well, how about that? Guess we'll soon find out, right? Right, and let's see if we can get this into here. And that goes in like that. Oh, that's not going to stay, is it? I've got to try and get the other side in now. Right, let's see if we can get this together. Oh, that's just going to keep popping out, isn't it? Because of course it is. Oh. How are we going to do this? Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll glue the front first. And then we'll get the back in afterwards. Right, we'll pop that on there, that will hold the front. Now, let's try and get this into place. This is going to be fun. There we go. Oh, I think we've got it. Oh. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I didn't have that in front of the camera when I did it. Basically what I did was I just took the point of the tweezers, and you see there's a hole in there, and what I did was I just put the tweezer in and just kind of pulled it down slightly, and that seems to have got it, which was quite handy. Oh God, we're going to have to clamp this something fierce. Wow, this really doesn't want to go together. Right, I think we're going to need all the clamps on this. Alright, let's get another one on there. Oh, that's... Let's see if we can get a clamp on that. I bought these clamps at a auto jumble once, and I'll tell you what, they're very handy. They grip really tight. For most things they're actually too strong, but when you really need something to, you know, really grip, they work, because they got this like rubber bit on the end, and they work really well. So if you don't have any of those and you find somewhere to buy them, then I would suggest getting a set, because they're worth it. They come in a pack of 8, and they're worth getting. I don't know what brand they are, unfortunately, but they're worth getting a set if you can. Anyway, right, let's leave that to dry thoroughly. And the next step is we've got to drill out the wings. So there's 2 holes, one there, and then these 2 over this side with a 1mm drill, which I believe is for the drop tanks. So let's see how well this works. It's a 1mm drill bit. So that's one. And that's 2. It's a shame they didn't put it on the outside, because you can see what it's done. It's kind of blown through, but it's fine. We can soon clean that up. So, you know, interestingly, there's more holes here, and I bet you they're for like rockets or something, which are not included in this kit. But still, never mind. And I think now we need to put the wings together. So let's see what we have here. Oh, probably I'll find it the right way around. Right. Now you see, this doesn't need a lot of pressure to hold it, so for this I'll just resort to the old favourite, the peg. But these pegs actually came from the pound shop, and they've got a nice like silicone rubber pad on the end of them, which is quite handy. But this bit here doesn't want to go very well, so we might need a bit of brute force and ignorance on this. The great thing about this solvent is it, because it melts the plastic, if you can't get the pieces together exactly, a little drop of this will actually kind of help melt the plastic so it will stick together better. Right, let's let those dry. And I think while we're at it, we'll put the wings on to the fuselage, because it will help hold everything together. That is the next step anyway, so you kind of got to slide it in underneath that air scoop and then push it back. It's actually quite a nice tight fit. Stop laughing at the back. Okay. Right, now we're definitely going to let this dry. Right, so I've done a few bits off camera. I've masked up the canopy. It's just stuck on, the front bit's stuck on properly. This bit's just stuck on with some PVA at the moment, just to hold it in place while I paint the thing, because basically I don't want to have to mask the cockpit. So what I'm going to do now is put on the flaps and all the other little doodahs. So I've decided that I'm going to go for the flaps down, so we'll pop these on. Where's the other one? There it is. One thing I will say about these, they're a good fit. A little bit of glue on there. Yeah, so they're not going to fall off while I'm gluing them, which is nice. Okay, now for the elevators. Now, which way around do these go? I think that one goes on this side. Oh, get there in a minute, hang on. Yeah, there we go. So pop that one in there. Let's just make sure this one fits before we start gluing things. Which it's not going to, because there's a big bit of flashing in there. It'd be a lot easier if I put my glasses on. But still, where's the fun in that? Right. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. Right, let's see what they're like. They are actually gone on straight. This actually, to be fair, goes together relatively well for the large part of it. Okay. Now, oh, I'll tell you what else we need to put on. This. Get the white tack off of it. Now, this needs to go in this slot here. Like, oh, come on, get in there. Like that. There's a couple of pins inside there. It actually tells you in the plan which pins to use to line it up to have it open or closed. So to have it open like this, you just put it in up against the pins. If you want it closed, you have to cut one of the pins off and then move it into place. But we're going to have it like that. So let's let this dry. And I think then we can start masking it up and painting it. Right, for the next step, I'm going to spray the underside of it with this XF80 Royal Light Grey. There you go. Right, so the next thing I've got to do is paint these wheels, which is going to be fun, but it's actually not going to be that difficult because I'm going to use this. You've seen me use this before. If you haven't got one, get one. Basically, it's a circle template. This one came from Amazon, I believe, or possibly Hobbycraft, I can't remember. But basically, if you look at your wheel and your tyre, find a hole that matches the diameter of the wheel, which in this case is 5.5 millimeters, and then hold it there and paint it. I'll show you. Right, we'll try that again because I wasn't recording on the other wheel. So anyway, like I said, find the hole that matches, which in this case is 5.5 millimeters. Put the wheel like that, so that just the wheel is showing and not the tyre. Take your airbrush. And there you go, one perfectly painted wheel. Ooh. Thanks for that.
Welcome.
Anyway, right. Onwards. And for the upper side, I'm going to start with this XF83 Medium Sea Grey 2. Right, there we go. Now I'm going to try something a bit different for the next bit. Right, let's talk about airbrushes for a second. Now, this is the airbrush I normally use. This is a Harder & Steenbeck Evolution with a 0.2mm nozzle. You have seen me use this many, many times. You may not have actually seen the airbrush, but this is what I've been using. And it's a fantastic bit of kit, and this is my go-to airbrush. But here's the thing. I also have this. This is a Sotar 2020 from Badger in the US. And I bought this quite a while ago, a couple of years ago now, at least a few years ago. And they were doing a sale and they were selling these things really, really cheap, so I bought one. And I have never been able to get to grips with it. I've tried it a couple of times and just not really had much success. So I'm going to give it another go. Now I believe that the issue that I've been having with this is I've had the pressure too high, because it keeps bubbling and spitting in the cup, which is usually you've got the pressure too high. The air can't get out of the nozzle fast enough, so it goes back into the cup. So what I've done is I've now moved my regulator so that it's now right next to me, and I'm going to try running a very low pressure and a very, very thin paint mix and see if I can use this and actually get it to work. So that's what we're going to try now. Fingers crossed. Right, here goes nothing. Right, see now, oh, I'm trying to get this in front of the camera and it's not easy. Oh, let's move that out of the way. See now, if you look in that cup, it's blowing bubbles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the pressure a bit more. Alright, let's see what that does. Oh. It's really awkward. Yeah, I mean it's coming out, but it's kind of spraying everywhere, which is not ideal. I've got to be doing something wrong with this. This can't be this difficult to use. It's just blowing, look at it blowing bubbles out the cup. Look. And let me add as well that this airbrush is spotlessly clean before anybody starts putting in the comments, oh, you've got the nozzles clogged. No, it is absolutely spotless. Oh, it's suddenly decided to work. That's weird. Well, I say work after a fashion. Well, I say it's decided to start working. It's doing something. Let me have a play with this a bit more and see if I can figure this out. Right, well, after much wailing and gnashing of teeth, I can think officially say I am done with this thing. I spent about an hour messing about with this, trying to get it to spray right, and I couldn't. And I went back to the Evolution and did that in a couple of minutes. So, yeah. If anybody is watching and has one of these things and can tell me how to use it, or, you know, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? Have I got the pressure wrong? Have I got the paint mix wrong? You know, is there something wrong with the brush? I don't know. I mean, if you put like water in it or just straight thinner, it will spray that fine. No problems at all. As soon as you put any paint in it, it starts blowing bubbles and spitting and nothing, and it either just blasts it all out in one big blob or it doesn't come out at all. So, yeah. If anyone from Badger is watching this, or anybody's got one of these, help. Because at the moment, this thing is about an inch away from going in the bin. As a wise man once said, help me understand this. But anyway, we'll just put that to one side, and we'll continue with the Evolution. So the next step is we're going to go back to our Sea Grey 2 and put a thinner coat over this to blend it all together. So we'll do that next. Right, so next step is to put on some of this masking putty so we can paint the green. So I'll do that, and then we're going to start the final colour coats with this XF81 Dark Green 2. Right, now we've got most of the painting out of the way, we can put the rest of these bits on. So let's see if we can get this. You know what, I think for this I'm going to use some of this Revel contactor because I think that'll be easier. Glasses so I can see what I'm doing. I can't actually see in there to see if there's any glue coming out of the bowl. Oh yeah, there is. I can see it glistening in there. Okay, which way around does this go? That is the question. That way, I imagine. Let's put the rest of the undercarriage together. Figure out how this all goes now. Probably not getting it all backwards, it wouldn't be the first time. Right, and wheels. Okay, now, where's the plan? Now you've got to be careful with these wheels because they have a flat spot on them, which I now can't find. There's the flat spot. So that one will go on this side. I think that's right. We'll soon find out. Now, which way round does this go? Oh, this is remarkably fiddly. Oh. Oh, just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I just realised actually that's in the wrong place, that hole. If you look there, oh, if this thing would focus. Where that pin is supposed to go into that little hole there, and it doesn't reach. That's brilliant. Oh well, never mind. Right, let's put the other one of these together and then we'll start putting them all in. Right, that's the undercarriage and everything on. So what I'm going to do now is put the decals on, but before I do that I'm going to give it a coat of this high coat acrylic gloss just to make life a bit easier. Right, so that gloss has had plenty of time to dry, so what we're going to do now is try and put some of these decals on. Now one thing that's happened actually, which is kind of weird, is this acrylic has reacted with the paint and it's actually made the paint wrinkle slightly, which is vaguely annoying, but at the same time it's actually quite a nice effect and I quite like it. But it's one of these things, when you have effects, things like this happen, it's always good to understand why it's happened, so that you can make it happen when you want it to, but not when you don't want it to. And I didn't actually want it to happen on this, but it has. And like I said, it's not the end of the world. I actually quite like it, but I'll have to do some investigation. It's only done it on the grey, which is interesting. The green is fine. So I don't quite know what's happened there, but we'll figure that out at a later date. But what we're going to do now is put these decals on. So I have I've got my Airwick wax burner, which is sitting there ready to go with some warm water in it, and let's see if we can put these things on now. That goes on that side, that goes on this side, so we'll try this one first. I'm going to try and put these teeth on. Right, a bit of the old Mr. Marks setter. Right, let's see if we can get this on. Oh. Oh, come on. Right. Now. Oh, I think that's gone on pretty much in the right spot. Oh, that was a bit of luck. That's pretty much just falling on exactly where I want it, I think. Okay, now let's try and get the other one on. This is always the tricky bit when you've got ones like this that you have to line up. But that seems to have gone on. Relatively well. So I'll put the rest of these on, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Right, now we've just got the last one to put on, which is the other eye. Hopefully this one goes on as easy as the other one did. The other one basically fell on its own. Drop that. Right, let's see if we can get this off of here. Right, now let's get that into place if we can. Right, so it's in the right spot, just got to move it up. Like that. Now, what I've got to try and do is get that to stay put while I Right, there we go. Whew. Well, that wasn't too bad. We'll let those dry, and then I think we might do a little bit of weathering and then put some final finish on it. Right, so the last step, well, before we put the final finish on, I've just got some of this Crawford and Black oil paint, and I'm just going to do a little touch of weathering, not too much. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit on the exhaust. Can you hear them birds on the roof? Like that, and I'm going to put a little bit on the guns like that. And then what you do is you take a brush like this. This is actually an eyeshadow brush, and just basically but this is the trick I found with this, is you see, start by just going in the direction of the airflow like that, and then if you actually go back against the direction of the airflow, it actually feathers it a lot better and blends it a lot better. So that's probably way too much black on there. Let's just get some of that off. This is another reason for doing this over the top of gloss paint, because you can just wipe this off. like that, you see. So I'll just wipe most of that off. But now we'll just work it down the side like that, and then go back you see. It's really difficult to do this in front of the camera. The camera's right in the way. There you go. And now, the last step before I unmask the canopy is I'll give it a spritz of this matte lacquer, seal it all up, and then we can unmask the canopy, and then I think we can wrap this up. I'll put the prop on as well, but you know, that'll be the last step. So that varnish is dry now, and a couple of last little bits to do. Demask the canopy, and then put the prop on. So let's see how we get on with this. Right, that looks all right. Right, now let's see if we can get this prop on. Yep, okay, that fits. Oh, get in there. Right, there we go. I think we can wrap this up. And here is our finished article. This was quite a fun little build. It was a little bit frustrating at times. It's not the greatest model in the world, but it was okay. As I mentioned, I think right at the beginning, I've never built a Mustang before, so it was quite interesting to build this one, and it was also nice doing it with the RAF colours. I'm quite tempted to do another one and do it in the sort of polished aluminium and see what that comes out like. But yeah, this has been an interesting little project, just a nice little quick and dirty build. We had a bit of fun with the, the Badger airbrush, so again, if anyone knows how to make that thing work, please do let me know. But other than that, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Thanks again to all of my patrons and for their magnificent support. And you know, if you are feeling flush, do feel free to go and join them. And if not, you're more than welcome to join us on the Staff Canteen on Facebook. So hopefully we'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers. Bye.